All right, everyone. Welcome to week 6. We are moving. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for hanging in there for me. I know 9 o'clock is late. I know sometimes my brain is like just gone by 9. But I've been having a blast hanging out with y'all and getting to know y'all and trying to get your names right. Hold me accountable. Hold me accountable. It's week 6. It's beyond time. But yeah, we're gonna jump in another short video overall. So for week 6, this week we're doing you're reading chapter 11 in DSM-TR, and you're also reading chapter 11 in the psychopharmacology book. You're also covering the sleep toolkit. You get to pick one or the other. There are 2 videos this week. I think one can also be a podcast if you want to listen to it. That's what you're spending for your week 6 readings. And then we're doing part 2 of your case conceptualization diagnostic tool. This is just a paper about the tool. So you just have to tell me what other assessment you chose and why. You could do the Enneagram, you can do the MBTI, you could do whatever sets your little heart on fire. It's an academic paper, so give me the nitty gritty. Please follow the guidelines and the example. It's really like sometimes I feel like y'all either like have to have an example or y'all want to do like an interpretive dance. And usually I'm down for either or. But there's a lot happening in life. There's a lot going on for all of us. Just use the template, use the bullets, make it easy on yourself. It's a short paper, very, very short. You need around 3 or 4 citations. Remember, the goal is to have enough citations, 10 at the end of this project. And so you're just chipping away. Like, I know you want to do something fun. If you really want to do something fun, go outside, go in the rain, be with nature, visit an elephant. I don't even know if does the zoo have elephants in Denver. I don't even know where you would find an elephant in Denver, but I was filming elephants today. So I digress, per usual. Anyway, yes, use the bullets, use the template. You're just talking about the tool that you chose. If you haven't given the tool to your client yet, you might want to because that's the next assignment. That's part 3. But it's totally up to you. So easy peasy, short, sweet, direct, concise, to the point, which I love. Which I love, you love, we all love. Okay. I mean, that's it. That's your review. Round of applause. So if you don't want to do the journal, thank you for being here. Thank you for being excellent. And I will see you in class. But for this week, the journal question with our other elephant is, what cultural or individual factors should I consider when discussing sleep habits and rituals with clients? And the consideration is, think about how diverse backgrounds and lifestyles may shape clients' views on sleep. How can you approach conversations about sleep in culturally sensitive manner that respects their unique experiences? So that is our journal question for the week. For me, I have been talking a lot about sleep. I've always talked a lot about sleep. Let's just, you know, I get so hyped and I get like too excited and I talk too fast. Hi everyone. Um, I have always talked about sleep, mostly because I love sleep. Love sleep. I'm also more and more aware. Oh, the wind is blowing. It's about to rain outside. Um, I also have been aware since losing my brother that my sleep patterns have been drastically different. I've been waking up around 3, 4 a.m. every morning. And some people call that the divine hour. Some people call it the witching hour. Some people call it, in Islam, folks call it tahajjud, which is like the prayer hour before the prayer hour. I mean, that's a very simplified version of it. And for me, sleep has been vivid dreaming. It has been ways for me to process. I am an internal processor, and a lot of some folks who are internal processors may actually process their experiences, their thought process things that are on their mind in their sleep, in their subconscious. But I always make sure I get enough sleep because I am just like not a good person when I have not had enough sleep. Oof, we don't want that for you. We don't want that for me. And so sleep has been important to me for that. It also has changed throughout my life. So when I was an athlete, when I was in high school, sleep was like the thing. Like I know people were like, let's go out. I was like, listen, I gotta go to bed. I'm also a Taurus sun, so I love a good nap. I love rest. I think rest is rejuvenative. Um, rejuvenative, yes, and restorative. I think rest is restorative, and I also do not take for granted how well I sleep in my very cultivated space with my cultivated blankets whenever I am hanging out at my sister-in-law's house and she has a toddler. I mean, now she's like two toddlers. They're like running around, living their best lives. Sometimes, like when I was there for Thanksgiving a few years ago, I could hear little Jordan like in the back. He was like asking questions about pancakes and why I wasn't awake for pancakes. And so when we're thinking about this question, so again, the question is, what cultural or individual factors should I consider when discussing sleep habits and rituals with my clients? I think about parents a lot right now. God, the people I love the most right now are parents, are expecting or like have little ones. And so I'm thinking about co-sleeping. I'm thinking about just like nightmares and like little kiddos waking up. And I'm thinking about how, as a parent, especially if you're an academic or you work in an environment that's not necessarily like 9 to 5, like a lot of my community does, when you have little ones, your sleep tends to be adjusted because also maybe you're writing at night or you're creating at night, you're working at night because you're working when the kids are asleep, right? So realizing that as well. And so I am a firm believer that everyone should be getting 8 hours no matter what, because that's what actually your brain needs chemically. In science, your brain needs 8 hours. I also know it's not realistic. And even on days when I don't get 8 hours just because I didn't sleep well, I feel it. And so I can only imagine how some of my parents are feeling when they haven't gotten sleep. And so that's something I think often about when I think about sleep hygiene of how do we make sure if you're only getting 5 or 6 hours that those are like the best quality 5 or 6 hours of sleep you can get. And that can look like keeping your room really cold. It can look like turning all the lights off. I don't have any lights at all in my room. My room is pitch black. um, can look like turning off your device an hour before. There's lots of different stuff, right, that we know that have been like proven methods for sleep, but also really thinking about what do our clients need in their sleep process, and then how do we help them create sleep rituals that are supportive of what they need without judgment and without like shame, because there's enough going on. There's enough going on. We don't need to add any shame or any guilt to our rituals, our processes, the things that fulfill our souls and keep our hearts healthy. We don't need to attach any shame to that. So again, thinking about factors to consider with sleep habits, and then really the consideration for this is think about how diverse backgrounds and lifestyles may shape clients' views on sleep. So either cultural, time of year. Some of our Indigenous communities may have time of year sleep habits that aren't known to us, but we want to make sure we're open-minded to and we're supportive of. How can you approach conversations about sleep in a culturally sensitive manner that respects our unique experiences? So a big one is co-sleeping, right? So like I don't, you can decide whatever you want to decide as a parent. We do not judge how our parents want to show up for their kids and if they want to co-sleep or family sleep or whatever that may be. So yeah, so this week, as you are transitioning into class, thinking about your own sleep habits, thinking about if you're sleeping enough, if you're not sleeping enough, um, thinking about melatonin. Because if you are having vivid dreams and you're taking melatonin, melatonin could be the reason why you're not sleeping well. So if you're watching this and you heard me say that, ask me about it in class. All right. That's all I got for this week. I am forever grateful for y'all. We are rocking and rolling. week 6. Congratulations. We're almost there. We're almost to the midway point. We're almost to the midway point. And then yeah, we will continue this party on Thursday. Have a wonderful night. And I hope that the rain, man, I hope that the rain and the thunderstorms meet you with exactly what you need and pour hope into whatever you're excited about this next week. All right. See you later.